Thesis statements. Your thesis is the most important sentence of your essay. Without it, your reader might not know where you're going with your paper. It identifies your main idea. It identifies the focus of your paper. And yeah, some papers are written without explicitly stating it. They just imply what your main idea is. But when you're writing for a class, or when you're writing for someone who you really want to follow your every move, your teacher in a class, you really need to explicitly state it. We're using Working with Sources exercises for a writer's reference, 7th edition. Okay, so let's take a look at these. What we're doing here is we're supposed to circle the letter of the sentence in each pair that would work well as a thesis statement for a research paper of about 10 pages. Remember that a thesis should be the central idea that requires supporting evidence. It should be of adequate scope for a 10-page paper, and it should be sharply focused. Okay. Well, number one here we have residents of the District of Columbia must pay federal income taxes even though they are denied voting representation in Congress. Before we even just make sure we can see this as closely as possible. Perhaps before we even read the second one, we can talk about why A is, we can rule it out. It says, it's really two facts here. We have the residents must pay federal income taxes. That's just a fact. Even though they are denied voting representation in Congress, so the fact that they're that they are denied voting representation is also a fact. So we could probably just rule that one out. Now let's go see what this one says, though, first, before we just circle it. Residents of the District of Columbia should be given voting representation in Congress because they pay federal income taxes. All right, we still have a little bit of factual information, but the should be given voting representation in Congress is an opinion. It could be a main idea. For the paper, it asserts a position. All right, so we would choose this one. Number two. When a woman suffering from postpartum had to stop for a second. When a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis does something terrible, such as injuring or killing her child, she obviously needs help. Now, we don't eliminate this completely. It may be an opinion that she needs help, but let's see what the next one says. When a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis injures or kills her child, she should be treated for mental illness rather than charged as a criminal. This one makes a clear and focused assertion that can be argued in the paper. The other one is a little too vague. It's not specific enough. Right? So this one says she should be treated for mental illness rather than charged as a criminal. The other one is just too broad, too general, not specific enough. So this would be the one. Because remember, even though the first one was arguable, this one is specific and arguable and clear and responsive to, probably responsive to the prompt. Number 3, political and economic conditions in the early 20th century help explain the popularity of Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa movement. Marcus Garvey founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and initiated the popular Back to Africa movement. Well, although I don't think A is extremely good, it is better than B because B is a couple of facts. One, he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and 2, he initiated the popular Back to Africa movement. Both facts. So clearly B is not okay. Now, I think that A could be developed a little bit better by providing a bit of an outline to political and economic conditions in the early 20th century help explain. So what are the political and economic conditions in the early 20th century that help explain the popularity of Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa movements? So I would say once you identify, if you're writing the paper and you have the body of your paper identifies each section of the paper which one of these conditions, let's say the first part of your body discusses one of the political conditions, the second a different political condition, the third an economic condition, and the fourth another economic condition, all of which help explain this. If you have some solid reasons within your thesis statement, it will be better than just saying that they help explain. So in what ways do they help explain? Be more specific. So A is better, it's just not great. Number 4, because fighting terrorists who plan their activities online is a high priority for the U.S. government, Congress should enact stricter computer privacy laws to allow for wiretapping and other forms of surveillance. Versus, American citizens must give up their privacy rights so that the U.S. government can find and convict political terrorists. Well, let's start by saying 4B is too vague. It's not specific. 4A is nice because it limits itself to a narrow topic. Stricter computer privacy laws or rights. And it focuses on a way that the government might restrict those rights. So it is very specific, not too specific, but specific enough. All right, number 5. We'll do this last one, and that's and then we'll call this video done. Number 5 says, online grocery shopping has gained in popularity among American families. That's probably just a fact that you could find data to confirm. It's not an opinion, so 5A is going to be wrong. 5B says online grocery shopping benefits American families because it saves money, saves time, and lowers exposure to marketing gimmicks. So this focuses clearly on the benefits of online grocery shopping. So it's clear. It's arguable because perhaps there are some situations that it doesn't save money. I mean, people overspend or whatnot, but so it's not a fact, this whole thing in general, and so it's arguable. Hopefully it responds to the entire prompt, and it probably does because it is specific. Perhaps the prompt says, what ways is your topic true? whatever, right? So, well, here's one way, here's two ways, here's three ways. The third way. All right. And then it's specific also. So it tells a specific, it has an organizational plan for the essay. It tells specifically how it's going to prove that online grocery shopping benefits American families. Here's your opinion. Here's your reason, or ways, specific ways, and so forth. So it is a good thesis statement.